guys, Matt, Mike, IronTrap Garage, working on the free tee. So I did the exciting bit of putting the car down on four wheels.
Not we. Matt did the exciting bit.
You were here in spirit. So the next thing we're going to do is we started playing around with the height of the front, and we can get a little more drop out of flattening the front cross member. But I think that if we just put smaller front tires on, we're going to get basically where we want to be. So what we're going to work on today is just test fitting an engine in here and maybe getting some front engine mounts tack welded in place to get our overall height of the engine set. And then we're going to leave the transmission mount alone for now because we got to wait till we get the correct tires on so we have the actual rake of the car so we can set our pinion angle how we want. But we can set these front engine mounts to get the overall height of the engine at the area that we want it to be. So plus you'll be able to visualize better and we can make better vroom vroom noises.
Yeah, when I push him around the yard, he can make noises and act like he's shifting.
Yeah.
Just for a height reference, I'm 6'4", and the door doesn't even come to my hip on this thing. It is extremely low. I can physically step into the car and like just stand over top of the door.
And the doors actually work,
Yeah.
which is pretty crazy. I mean, like we have opening doors on both sides, so you can actually, you can step into this thing pretty easily.
And what's cool too is these didn't come as two doors, so this is probably one of the only. I'm sure there's other T's like this, but it has two functioning doors, which is totally useless because it's so low, but it's also pretty rad that we have two working doors on this thing.
And it's another way that it can scream that it's not just a fiberglass speedway body, that it's actually a original steel body, because we have working doors on it with latches. We're actually working with a 100-year-old car now. We didn't just buy a tub from Speedway and threw a bunch of old parts on it to try and make it look like it's an old car. I mean, this thing, everything is old. There's nothing on this car except for bushings and
Except for wear parts.
Yeah, everything's going to be old parts, which is the fun of it, that we're putting something together from recycled stuff. So it should be cool. So we're going to use the chain hoist again, one of my favorite things in the shop, and we'll start setting the engine and trans in and get something going here. All right, so a lot of back and forth. We set the engine in. We worked on leveling stuff out. Like many times when you're setting up these cars, we always end up getting a bunch of us kind of arguing back and forth on what we should do, what's going wrong, and in the end we probably wasted a bunch of time discussing what we should do when we pulled the body off, and it was like, boom, we got everything set up just right. The one thing we found is the body, because it's still sitting on that fiberglass mess in the back, the body in the rear half isn't 100% true. Something we can easily tweak and make body mounts for. It's just something that we haven't done yet, so that's going to be one of the next steps. So basically we set the laser up. We know that when we set the chassis up on the table, the front and rear cross members are square and centered to each other. So we shot our laser down, got it lined up in the center of the cross member, front and rear, set the front of the engine up so that it matched, and all we had to do was just get the back wiggled around. Now, one thing we did have to do that sometimes if you're just starting out messing with these type of cars with buggy suspension, is the buggy suspension, even when the car is done, tends to kind of sit funny sometimes, and you'll get like a gangster lean on a Model A because of the suspension. So we put a ratchet strap on the right side because we were maybe a couple of degrees off from being level of the frame, and we couldn't get it quite right. So by putting that strap there and just putting a couple of clicks, it got it sitting just how we want, and it's pretty good. It's nice and square. So now what we can do is make marks for our front motor mounts. Take all this crap we got cobbled together here, weld our mounts in, and that will get us really good there. And then once we get our pinion angle set with the correct front tires, be good to go, and we'll have be ready to start working forward. So we're going to work on getting these mounts set up here, and we should have them welded up pretty soon. So we got the engine in. It's sitting on its own.
Yeah, we can actually Fred Flintstone it if we were brave enough.
It took a lot of time getting everything square and sitting just right. Took a lot of time. And, you know, we had the engine sitting in the front. We had to get the engine mount sitting in, but our bar was sitting in the way of where we needed the engine mounts to go. So that took taking the bar out, and then we had to realign.
Totally messed it up and had to realign it. And because it's a buggy suspension, you're only sitting in the middle. We had to get everything like as close to level as possible to make sure we were putting it in square and straight, and getting a laser down the front cross member, rear cross member, and hitting all the points that we wanted was a little bit of a process. But we overcame and we accomplished, and yeah, the motor's in.
Awesome. Mike cut a piece of box tubing in the back here, and we threw a piece of wood under, like I mentioned earlier, till we get just a little bit further with getting the front tires we want in here, so that it's at the correct rake. Then we can set our trans cross member height, and we can match it with the pinion so that it's aligned correctly. But we can roll it around, which was the big thing today. I wanted to get it so that the engine's in it, and we can roll this car if we have to roll it outside, or push another car out of the way. So,
and which is nice because we can push it outside and take like 20, 30 steps back. The shop is big enough to do it in here, but Matt has too much stuff, so it's not possible.
Yep.
But if we roll it outside, we can take a pretty far step back and look at the rake and make sure the car is positioned how we want it before we really start moving along and realize the car's way up in the front or way up in the back, stuff like that.
yeah, so that's a big step. So I think next we need to work on the body mounts in the rear. The front's pretty good because we built those inner door sill areas. It's really solid in there. So that's sitting pretty good. But in the back corner here, we're still sitting on that fiberglass mess, and we're just kind of crushing it. So what we need to do is build some mounts that go up into the box tubing that we bent that's structural, and then we can get the body sitting exactly how we want, square. We can step back, like Mike said, and make sure that it looks right, it's not sitting funny in one corner, and start building around the engine and all this stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's exciting to get progress. I mean, it's pretty crazy how far this has come in very, very short amount of time.
Half a winter, 3/4 of a winter. I
We're
mean,
going to be ripping around in no time.
yeah,
It's going to be exciting.
I can't wait. So that's all we got, guys. Big step again. This is pretty exciting stuff for us, at least. If you like what you're watching, definitely give us a like or a follow. Share it with your friends if you guys like this kind of stuff and you think they might find it useful. Please share it. Leave us a comment. We do videos on this every Tuesday, and Sweetheart Roadster, we do videos on Friday, and sometimes we toss in some other junk that we got going on around here, which we'll probably have pretty soon. Thanks, guys. Catch you later.